Ladies and gentlemen, Tatamua, J1 90 kilogram division, contestant from Turkey, Grandy. Also, top contestant from Turkey,
Category 2, quarterfinal J1 90 kilogram. Contest from Turkey, Ashkan Olur, and contest from Greece, Papakristos Christos.
Good morning everybody and welcome to the second and final day of competition here at the Antalya Grand-Prix 2022. Today we have 4 more weight categories to bring to you, 2 women categories, the under 70 and over 70 kilogram, and 2 men's, the under 90 and over 90 kilogram categories. Of course we have the G1 and G2 classification categories, which I will explain a little bit later. What else I can tell you is that this is the first tournament where the athletes can pick up the points for the new world ranking list in a new classification system. And for now, on our mat is Onur Tastan of Turkey. He's wearing the white judo gi and he's facing Theoklitos Papakristos of Greece in blue. And of course you can watch the mat of your choice on the YouTube channel. Just follow the Ibsa news also on ibsasport.org and igf.org. And I hope you will enjoy the show today. So it's the first tournament with the new classification rules, and it's a whole new setup, so it needs some adjustments for the athletes. As you know, there's some less weight categories. So for example, there's no under 100 kilogram category. So you'll see some of the athletes maybe had to move down to the 90 or move up to the over 90 kilogram. And next to that, we have the new classifications with the J1 and J2, and J1 being the most impaired. And we could see yesterday that it gave a lot more a fairness to the competition, so it was really great to see a lot of J1 athletes bring out their top game. We saw a lot of new names, and we saw some really good judo, so I really enjoyed that. Of course, I hope to see some more today. For now, in this contest, it is Tastan that's really controlling Papakristos here with his left-sided grip. The problem for him is that he also needs to produce some action. So as long as he doesn't produce any attacks, he's also in danger of receiving a passivity penalty. This time the Shido is for Papakristos. He's being overly defensive, so he prevents his opponent from really getting close by stretching his arms. And this is a nice left makekomi attempt from Tastan. Really explosive move, just not able to score. So the second Shido is on the board now for Papakristos, so he really needs to start doing something, and he is trying to move around a lot. Trying to work on the feet. He needs to come in with a big attack though, and he's really struggling with the pressure of the right arm of Tastan. Tastan looks physically really strong. Papa Christos really is in danger here of picking up his third Judo. So during this tournament, Turkey managed to pick up 3 gold medals. Of course, they're the home nation. They brought up the biggest team here. They have a lot of athletes competing and bringing some new talents also. Next to Turkey, Brazil, Georgia, Romania and Switzerland also picked up a gold medal. And there's a lot of teams. I think there's 13 different nations who picked up the medals yesterday. So nice division, a nice spread over the countries. And here again, it's Tastan who's really reaching far over the top. It looks a little bit one-sided. So if the left hand of Tastan was on the same side of the hand that was on the sleeve of Papa Christos, he will pick up a Judo for that. So it was apparently on the right side. And it's Tastan that comes away with him because Papa Christos just picked up his third Judo. He just looked too much, he looked too defensive. So Tastan picks up the win here. I think for him it's really important for his next fight to try to come up with some bigger attacks. Because now he had the physical strength that won him this contest, but that won't be each contest. So for our next contest in the J1 over 90 kilogram category, we have Evgeny Nurmatov of Kyrgyzstan, and he's facing Williams Araujo of Brazil. And we will see Nurmatov in white judogi and Araujo in blue. So although it's a lot of new faces today, we also see some of the former judo heroes. So we see some of the more experienced athletes coming back to the scene also, which is really nice to see. And Williams Araujo is also quite known, and he now comes up with a beautiful ippon against Nurmatov. What a quick result for the Brazilian and a great start. So due to the new setup, so they really made a separation between the J1, so the completely or almost completely blind athletes, and J2 with a little bit less visual impairment. This means that there's just more chances for the G1 categories. So you can imagine that there's a big difference between total blindness and some vision. And for me, it was actually one of the best decisions made in VI Judo, because you can imagine that if a B3 athlete with some advantages is in the same category as the B1 athletes, which was previously the case, they will just have more chances and they will give the preference to the B3 athletes. And now We will see some new faces to the scene, some G1 athletes that were previous B1 athletes that didn't have any chance before. So due to this setup, we also see a smaller number of athletes in action here in this time, but the quality remains very high. We saw that yesterday. So it's because some of the B3 athletes are not eligible to fight anymore. But as I said, it gives place to a lot of new athletes, new names coming into the scene. And I'm really curious to see who will be on the top of the podium today. So here in the third contest of the over 90 kilogram in the J1 category, we have Azizbek Nurmuminov of Uzbekistan. He's wearing the white judo gi, and he's facing Daniel Knecht of the Netherlands in blue. So both athletes get to their grip. And Nurmuminov has a really low stance, and he's quite a bit smaller than Knecht, so that's gonna bring some interesting actions out there, and see how they can really come to an attack. So the first Shido is on the table for Nurmuminov, and it's Knecht that looks like the physical stronger one. He's putting a lot of pressure on Nurmuminov, but with the stand. Nice Seonage coming from Nurmuminov. It's a smart thinking of him to drop underneath, because he's a lot smaller than Knecht. And I had the chance to speak to Daniel Knecht and to the coaches in the Netherlands, and they are working really hard to set up the team. And Knecht trained really hard for this competition. And it's really nice to see in the last few years that more and more nations, they are bringing VI teams. So for me, Nurmuminov looks quite defensive here. Really bended over far and reaching out his arms. And as you can see, he will pick up a Shido for that. And I feel like he's just trying to keep away from the pressure of Knecht. So no big actions yet in this contest. I'm really hoping to see some soon. But it can be really difficult. As you can see, the Nurmuminov is really stretching his arms. But it's Knecht that also needs to stay active. And here comes a really beautiful left Seonage. Great score for Knecht. And he will continue through to the next round. So we have one more contest in the over 90 kilogram category between Sadiq Kaya and Jason Grandy.
Tatami 2, the winner is next Daniel, the contest from NS.
So with all these new rules, so there is some small changes in the IGF rules which we're following here, but there's also new classifications. There's less categories, so we have the under 48, under 57, under 70 and over 70 kilogram category for the women, and we have the under 60, under 73, under 90 and over 90 kilogram for the men. So a lot of athletes have to adjust to that, but next to that we also have the two separations in visual impairment with J1 and J2. So this is the first tournament where they have this new setup. And what I saw is really exciting judo, especially also in the J1 category. So you can see that the J1 athletes now are far more equally matched. And as Sara Alvarez, the event director, yesterday said that the J1 athletes, they are really open to fight and to push forward. They're really positive in their judo, and it brings great action. So with all these changes and adaptations, you could see that some athletes are struggling, but actually for me, I don't see it so much. I see that a lot of athletes are changed to the new category and they are reaching the final, like Abbasli of Azerbaijan yesterday, but I think the best example is Alexander Bologu of Romania, who went up 2 categories actually. He went from 60 to 73, so that's a 13 kilo difference, which is a lot in judo. And he still managed to win all of his contests yesterday. So it's really great to see that. And here on the mat we have Sadiq Kaya of Turkey, and he's facing Jason Grandy of France, and we see Kaya in white judo gi and Grandy in blue. Both are still trying to feel what the opponent does, and I cannot tell you enough that there's a lot of nerves coming into this competition. The last competition was the Paralympic Games last year, but of course not everybody qualified. For the last real big competition for many of them was already almost a year ago. So there must be some big nerves going on. So no big actions yet. They both don't want to make big risks during this contest. And what is also the case is that if you make an attack, the VI athletes are really good. They feel that you are making an attack, so their response is really quick. So nice right-sided Makikomi coming from Grandy. Just needed one big attack to really score that ippon. as we move from J1 category, we will now watch some fights in the under 90 kilogram category for J2 athletes. And here we do have some experience in. There's 8 athletes in this category. We have Ivan Molloy coming onto the scene soon. But we also have Sambota Amanzo of Kazakhstan. He was 5th on the Paralympic Games. We have Nathan Petit of France, also 5th in the 81 kilogram category. We have Kalimzan Smagoluli, who had some nice results in the past. So there's a lot of experience in here. So it should mean a really good contest. So coming onto the mat are Evan Molloy of Great Britain, and he's facing Simone Canizzaro of Italy. And it's Molloy in white judogi and Sultanov in blue. And there's immediately a lot of movement. Really nice left Maroto Sena, or was it? Really nice movement coming from Molloy. So strong start from Molloy here. You always see a big difference between the under 90 and the over 90. With the heavyweights, they tend to move a little bit slower. There's a lot more power in those contests. And here you can see they're moving. Wow, that was a really nice foot sweep coming from Canizzaro. Almost enough for a score. So these two athletes are really evenly matched. And this is what the Italians normally, if you look at the typical Italian judo, they're really good with their footwork, with their ashiwaza. They tend to get their opponents off balance and work a lot with the low seonages. Let's see if we can see that from Canizzaro as well. Again, a nice foot sweep, followed up by a strong attack from Molloy. So it's really Canizzaro that's dangerous with his ashiwaza, but Molloy brings up a great Soda Komiyashi. Again, really beautiful Soda. I'm not sure if some of the back touched the mat there. But let's see what the referee has to say about that. So Canizzaro looks like he suffered a little injury on his wrist, but will be able to continue. Straight in, Canizzaro went straight in for a Sutamiwaza. And now they're trying to work on the ground. Another left Soda attack coming from Molloy, and straight after he's working in Newaza and trying to get that strangle on Shimewaza. Just cannot say if it's on or not. But Canizzaro managed to stand up, and it's still an open contest. It's still 2 minutes 26 seconds left on the clock, and anything can happen still. That was really close there. Molloy really close to scoring. But it's Canizaro that has quite a good position on the arm, trying to work in Newaza, just didn't manage to turn him over. So as you can imagine, the VI Judo, they have to have the grip all the time, two hands on their opponent. They can re-grip, of course, so if they want to change the position, that's possible. But you cannot continue with one hand, it's not possible. So this means that the pressure is always on, there's always tension. And this makes the fights of 4 minutes really draining. And it's just a small difference between IGF Judo and Ibsa Judo. So both athletes get their grip again. Both they are right-handed. And this looks more strong. Molloy coming on with another nice Sode and scoring a second Vasari. But I'm really impressed with the fights of both fighting style of both Molloy and Canizaro. So Canizaro we will see back at the rapid charts. All the athletes that lose to a semi-finalist, they get a rapid charge. And in the under 90, since there's only 8 judoka, there will be a rapid charge for everybody. So for this next contest we have Sambota Amanzol on the mat. He was the number 5 of the last Paralympic Games and he's facing Saleh Sultanov of Azerbaijan, and it's Amanzol in white judogi and Sultanov in blue. As you can see, Amanzol is quite a bit taller than Sultanov. And the referee starts this contest. A lot of movement right away. Just moving out of the mat area. So for VI Judo we are following the exact same rules as the IGF, just with a small few exceptions. And one of them is of course that they are less strict on the corner of the mat, but the referee will shout Tokai from the middle of the mat to show the athletes where they find themselves. it's Yoko Tomonage coming from Sultanov here. It's Sultanov that's been the one that's a little bit more active, and it takes Amazon some more time to really get fired up. So actually, Sultanov here gets a Shido for avoiding the grip, and this is before the Ajime starts. Is only possible in VI Judo, so there are some rows to attend. Oh, that was a beautiful. So Amazon only needed one small space and one small chance to get the proper attack. So you can see he needs some time to get started. He takes his time. He doesn't take big risks, but once he starts, he can throw beautifully, as you could see here. Nice Uchimata and Wasari score. So it's a Sutimate from Sultanov. I honestly think he's struggling a lot with the physical strength and of Amazon. He looks so strong. So again, Sultanov gets a warning. And it's a pity because it's giving him the 2 Shidos on the board, but I also think this is the logical follow-up by the physical strength of Amazon. He can feel that he needs to position his arms in a certain way, and he tries to escape. Okay, that is very unfortunate that we missed. Sorry for that little break. With some trouble with the technique. Yeah. And here in white we see Kalinzam Smagoluli of Kazakhstan. He's wearing the right judo gi, and he's facing Jacques Schubert of South Africa blue. That was a really nice, I would say, Yoko Otoshi from Smagululi, scoring his first Bazari. Smagululi we also seen in the tour for a few years now. Picked up some medals. And nice action from Joubert here. Adjusted Seonaga it was, but you can actually tell that he is missing some strength here to really continue with that technique. And it's another Yoko Otoshi attempt coming from Smagululi. So the first Judo will be on the board for Joubert here. Also he is struggling with the physical strength of Smagululi, and it looks like the Kazakh team brought really strong athletes. This time it's Smagululi who gets a Shido for a gripping mistake, so you cannot get the grip into the sleeve of the other. And Smagululi is really trying to find a good grip, trying to get some control over Joubert. And with some nice Ashiwaza, that's just enough for a Wazari score. Not the most convincing technique yet, but it's enough for a Wazari, and it gives him his second Wazari to finish off the contest. So we already have the last contest in this round for the under 90 kilogram category for J2 athletes. And we're gonna see an athlete enter a new weight category for him. It's Nathan Petit of France. So he was competing in the under 81 kilogram before. And after the Tokyo Paralympic Games, of course, he had to change the category. In this contest, he's facing Otabek Irisbekov of Uzbekistan. And it's Petit here in white judogi and Irisbekov of Uzbekistan in blue. Moving around a lot, and it's Petit who's threatening with the first attack. You can already see that it's left side against right side, so Petit is left-handed. And he'll try to search for those hip throws on that side. And it's Irisbekov that's trying to get closer to Petit. So some nice work from both athletes. It's Petit that's trying to work on the hips and then change the direction. Not succeeding, but some good first few moves in this contest. Nice foot sweep by Petit. And it's another Sutami attempt coming from Petit, but before I think he was doing a better job by really switching direction, first threatening with the hip throw and then switching direction, but this time he tried it straight away and not really succeeding. And again, Petit comes in with a left Uchimata or rep throw, and this time scoring a Rosari. Oh, that was beautifully done. What a way to come back in this contest. Iris Bekov throwing over Petit, and really it was a nice takeover. So it was Petit pushing forward all the time, but he has to suffer a loss here against Iris Bekov with a beautiful Urarage. So now we get a chance to get a look at some women weight categories. And we're going to start with the over 70 kilogram category for J1 athletes. Between two Turkish women, it's Tukse Ozdemir, who was here in white judogi, and she is facing Nazan Akin Gunes of Turkey also, and she will be wearing the blue judogi. So there are some smaller categories, and of course I'm really hoping to see them filled up more in the future tournaments. So there is, as in the IGF World Tour, there's also an Ibsa or VI Judo World Tour with tournaments following in Kazakhstan in May and in Brazil end of June, beginning of July. And of course, next to these tournaments, the athletes have their continental championships and the world championships coming up this year. So plenty of tournaments for the VI athletes. So it is Akin Gunes who's putting some pressure on the left side of Ozdemir here. Both athletes making sure they have the right grip, and Ozdemir now has the Shido on the board, and I hope it will give her a little bit motivation to come forward. But it is Akin Gunes who comes in with a nice right side at Seunage and scoring a Wazari, and now pinning down Ozdemir. She will need to hold on to that for 10 seconds to score her second Wazari. And that has actually happened now, so it's Ozdemir that, Akin Gunes that comes away with the first win. getting sportive here. And I'm excited to see the next two athletes coming onto the mat. We haven't seen so much of the Paralympic athletes that were winning medals here in this tournament. There's a lot of new names, but there's also some really well-known names. And one of the best examples of that is Alana Maldonado of Brazil. We will see her coming onto the mat. She's the current Paralympic champion and also world champion. There's only two athletes here in this weight category in this competition, so it will be a best out of three. And here is Alana Maldonado in the white judogi, so the current Paralympic champion, and she's facing Aysel Imam Verdieva of Azerbaijan. So it will be a massive task for Imam Verdieva of Azerbaijan to try to beat the current Paralympic champion. Let's see how that will go. So both athletes still take some time to get adjusted. It's the first competition since quite a while. There were some smaller competitions. That was the first technique was all that had to do with Maldonado beating Imam Verdieva with a nice left uchimata. You can see there's really quite a difference in quality between these two athletes. So it's actually a little bit unfortunate for Maldonado here, and also for us. We would have loved to see her compete and have some more fights. So let's take a look at mat number 1 at this moment, where we have the also the under 70 kilogram category, but then for the women in the J1 category. So they have a bigger visual impairment. And we see the contest between Esmer Taskin of Turkey in white judogi and Nadia Agostina Boggiano of Argentina in blue. The contest is like around 1.5 minutes on the way. There's no scores yet on the board. First nice sutami coming from Taskin here, not scoring, but she's working hard on the ground. See if she can get to a nice technique. And actually it's Boggiano that's now taken over and trying to work on the arm. So she came quite close to finishing off this contest here. Nice soda it was coming from the Turkish athlete. Just not enough for a score, but she's getting closer here. So it's Tusky now that's leading with a Wazari on the board. 1 minute and 40 seconds left. So Really, it's still quite an open contest. It's another soda, and it feels like Tuskin is slowly getting the upper hand, but we cannot underestimate Boggiano. She's really good in Newaza, as you can see here, and almost getting a hold down of Tuskin. Just not enough to really succeed in that, and they're both on their foot again. So of course, in any moment you can switch to another mat and watch the uncommented mats, mat number 1 and mat number 2, both on the YouTube channel of Ibsa. Another Saudi attempt, and that we cannot see it from the right angle. But it was for sure really close to scoring. But now Tuskin is in big, Tuskin, sorry, is in big trouble. Almost in a hold down, and she actually is now. So it's Boggiano that's holding down Tuskin, and that could change the contest completely. Already has the Wasabi on the board, just needs to hold them for a few more seconds, and that is gonna be it. So it's a Wasabi score here, and it basically evens out the score on the board, and it's another hold down, and she now only needs to hold down for 10 seconds, was just 1 second short. So what a combat these two girls have to deliver here. 6 seconds left on the clock, both Wasabi on the board now. So these two athletes will have to find out who will win in the golden score. So after the regular time, if the score is even, it will be a golden score for these athletes to find out who will be the winner. And each score now will be enough for the win, of any score I mean. And it's to me, that's a dangerous thing to do against somebody that's good in Newaza like Boggiano. So not the smartest idea to, you have to be really sure to make a good Sutumi, but this was a really good work from Tuskin. Nice Newaza work, and now holding down Boggiano, and that looks quite strong, and it's enough for the win here. Ippon score now. And she will be the first finalist of this category. So Esmer Taskin of Turkey is the first finalist in the under 70 kilogram category. And we have one other semi-final coming up. And after that, it might be nice to switch to mat number 2 to see the semi-finals of the over and under 90 kilogram going on. We have two new athletes coming onto the mat. It's Matilde Lauria of Italy, and she's facing Brenda Souza de Freitas of Brazil. And we will see Lauria in white judogi and Souza de Freitas in blue. So I'm really pleased to see Italy also bring a big team here to this competition. You really can tell the countries that are investing in the VI Judo. They start to bring bigger teams and they start to bring new athletes to the tournaments. First, these two athletes are moving around a lot and see who will be the first one to attack. And it's Lauria here with a Sutami Waza and not succeeding, but it's always nice to have a first action in this contest. So strong left-handed grip from Souza de Freitas here. This is also quite typical about Brazilian judo. They have really strong kumikata, strong grip. Now she comes in with a left hip throw, just not succeeding. She lost the grip actually on her end. But they have, a lot of times they have the classic kumikata, so one on the lapel and one on the sleeve. And they have a lot of control with that kumikata. Both athletes starting again with the action. Strong left-sided grip again from Souza. And now she can finish off in style. Souza de Freitas, beautiful left technique here against Lauria. And a big ippon scored. It was her first contest, so but it was enough for her to reach the final stage. So with that said, we're going to take a look at mat number 2 to see what's going on in the semi-finals in the over 90 kilogram category of the J1 classified athletes. And we start here with the contest between Daniel Knecht of the Netherlands and Jason Grandy of France. It's still 1 minute and 20 seconds left on the clock. Both athletes have some shidos on the board. It's Knecht with the 1 shido and Grandy with 2 shidos. But Grandy, he's managed to score a Rosari in this contest, so he leads. So both athletes moving around. And it's a another attempt coming from Knecht. Just not enough strength to really get Grandy out of balance, and it's taking important time, seconds off the clock for Grandy, because he will try to defend on that lead. So the last 33 seconds of this contest, and Knecht is trying everything to get that Bazarian back on the board, but it won't be easy against Grandy. Grandy looks like a tactical, strong athlete. He knows what to do, and he really finishes off in style. Nice right-sided Makikomi, the same way he ended his first contest. And it's Grandy we're going to see in the final, and Knecht we will see later on in the bronze medal match. So we have some really exciting next few fights coming up. In the J2 under 90 kilogram category, the two semi-finals are coming up, and we've seen really high quality contests in the previous rounds. So the first semi-final about to start between Evan Malloy of Great Britain, and he will be facing Zambota Amazo of Kazakhstan, and it will be Malloy in white judogi and Amazo in blue. Both shown really strong judo in the first contests. And I'm really curious to see how this contest will be matched. And straight away Amazo is in with a nice right-sided Makikomi combined with a Kochi. Not enough for a score, was good defense of Malloy, but I think Malloy is warned here. So both athletes to the middle of the mat again, and straight away starts the action. And Amazo, really, you can tell he's physically so strong. So it's Malloy trying to come in with a technique. And Amazo working on the arm of Malloy. So a lot happening in this contest. Quick work for both of these athletes, they're really sharp. And I feel like Amazo is maybe a little bit stronger in this contest, but it's Malloy is bringing really good judo skills also. I think Amazo needs to watch out for some technique. Again, it's a Makikomi, and now Amazo is working nicely on the arm of Malloy. And I think Malloy is really in danger of going over. And Amazo is working on the arm, and now he has a hold down, but doesn't manage to keep that hold down. So this contest is really packed with action. first Shido now for Malloy, and it's not because Malloy is so inactive, but it's just because Amazol is really pushing the pace here all the time, as you can see right after the mete is coming in with the technique. For me, the only thing that he needs to watch a little bit, I know he's straight away coming in with the technique, but he can be a risk of being too long on one side, which will lead to a Shido for Amazol. Not the case yet. So, oh wow, straight away into the action. Amazol throwing over Malloy. And Amazol looked so convinced of himself. So it was not only the technique or the physical having the upper hand. He was so convinced that he wants to throw his opponent. And the question now is if he will face one of his country mates, Smagululi, in the final, or if it will be Otabek Irisbekov of Uzbekistan. So the second semi-final of the J2 under 90 kilogram category is between Galimsan Smagululi of Kazakhstan and Otabek Irisbekov of Uzbekistan. It's Smagululi in white judogi and Irisbekov in blue.
The winner by default is the contestant number 3,
So both are straight away attacking. Irisbekov with the right side at the technique, but Smagululi also coming underneath. No scores yet, but they both show hints of really nice quality and good technique. So Smagululi now working on Neuwaza, but stopped by the referee. These two are really evenly matched. So a lot of movement, and now Irisbekov coming on to the right side for Makikomi, but almost taken over by Smagululi. And Smagululi trying to take over on the ground also and trying to turn Irisbekov, but not succeeding yet. So first Judo on the board for Irisbekov. That was a really nice left Yoko to Manage. Looked a little bit like Irisbekov went to his side here. If that is the case, the main referee will call that later. Ooh, that's an interesting one. For sure the main referee is going to watch that. Yes, the referee here is asking for a check of that last action, which is normal. Sometimes it's just really hard to see who was initiating the action and who was falling over, and if there was enough control going down. So after this will be checked, we will know if there is a Rosari awarded, and if and that after the contest will continue. So it gives both the athletes also some time to recover. So they really have to take the time to check this, and I think it's normal because it was really hard to see who was throwing who and if there was enough control going down. And I'm really curious to find out, because this can be in the end can be the difference between standing in the final or not. So this is the first tournament where the athletes can pick up points for the world ranking, and why this is so important is because with this world ranking you will be placed in the contest sheet. So if you're the first ranked, you will be on the top of the contest sheet, and it can give you some advantage. Of course you have to beat everybody, but it will be really important to have this ranking. Nice use of the direction by Smagululi. Came in with a low drop Serenage, while Iris Bekov was really pushing forward. So Iris Bekov actually walking on to that low Serenage. And it's Smagululi now who leads with the Rosari. Straight away Iris Bekov is in with his Sutimi, but not really creating any chance for a score. And now both athletes are working in the ground again. And unfortunately we're not seeing this from the right side, so don't know exactly what's going on the top there. But the referee sees no progress in it, so she calls the mate. So Magnoluli trying to make some movement going on in this contest. He's trying to move the arms of Iris Bekov. And it's Iris Bekov now that has 2 Shidos on the board, so things are not looking so well for him. Being 1 Bazari behind, and also he cannot afford another mistake, another Shido, because it will mean the end of this contest. And while he was so strong, Iris Bekov with his hand on top of Smagululi, now it looks like he's starting to get fatigue. And Smagululi is really controlling the grip. Doesn't need to do so much, he will just control the contest. And that's gonna be enough. Yoko Toshi coming from Smagululi. And you could tell that in the end he really started, the difference started to be a bit bigger. So we have two Kazakh in a final later today. So the next contest coming up here is the over 70 kilogram J1 category for women between Tutse Oezdemir and Katira Ismieva. And it's Oezdemir in white judogi and Ismieva in blue. Oezdemir really pushing forward. Really trying to push over her opponent. And of course I'm hoping to see some nice actions going on. Sometimes it can be hard in the beginning to really come up for a big technique. To really throw in the hips because it's bringing some risks also of being taken over. So it's a lot of pushing around now. And it is Ismieva that's trying to take Oezdemir to the back, but ending up on her back herself. Not scoring either of this judoka, but it was a really first nice movement in this contest. So the first big effort coming from Ismieva here. So both athletes are starting again. Really strong right-sided grip from Oezdemir. But it is Ismieva that's going to the back and scoring a huge hip bond against Oezdemir. So unfortunately for Oezdemir, it's her second loss. And it is Akin Gunes and Ismieva here in this category that will find out who will be the champion here today. And nice movements we've seen from Ismieva, Azerbaijan. And we're going to see the second fight of Alana Maldonado here, the current Paralympic champion. Since there's only two athletes in this category, it will be the same opponent as last time. Aysel Imam Verdieva of Azerbaijan. And I'm a little bit afraid that the quality difference between these two athletes is still too big. But let's see what will happen. So there's not only a height difference, I think there's also a big difference in experience and in strength and in technique. So Maldonado being a very experienced athlete, she's a world champion, she's the current Paralympic champion. And that's just maybe one bridge too far for Imam Verdieva, but it's not decided yet. Let's see what will happen. So first Sutemi score, Sutemi by Imam Verdieva, trying to surprise Maldonado. But Maldonado doesn't seem too impressed by that. So both athletes having their grip again, and straight away Imam Verdieva is in with a Sutemi Waza. Just not doing anything to Maldonado. Maldonado now gives a little bit more movement out of Imam Verdieva, and it's another Sutemi by Imam Verdieva. But this time it gives Maldonado time to work on the arm. It looks like Imam Verdieva learned from her last experience, and she's giving a lot more of a fight back. That's really good to see. First Judo on the board now for Imam Verdieva. Yoko Tumarage attempt by Imam Verdieva, and it gives Maldonado some time to work in Newaza, trying to catch a Sankaku here, and now working on the arm, and actually that looks very strong. The hold down is being given by the referee. She needs to hold down to this for 20 seconds. It actually looks really strong, and it's so strong that Imam Verdieva has to tap out, and it's a win again for Maldonado. So we have a few more contests coming up. So of course we still have some rapid charge contests, but this is the best out of 3 in this category with 2 athletes. It's Priscilla Leze of France, and she's facing Rebecca Silva of Brazil. It's Leze in white judo gi and Silva in blue. And Leze straight away into the action, moving around a lot, trying to stay out of the strength of Silva. Rebecca Silva is one of the athletes that has a little bit more experience on. We've seen her a lot in the World Tour in the last few years. So it's Silva that's trying to come in for some action.
Yapsaydım bunu yapamazdım. Tek ekip programlama. Altyapı otomasyon. Hangi arkadaşlar? Bütün farklı
So it's Lisa that's really trying to move and work on the feet of Silva. But it's Silva all the time that's coming in for the bigger attacks. So Silva now really trying to get rid of those legs of Leza and trying to escape her leg. But Leza looks like she's quite strong on that, strongly holding on to that leg. So nice also to attempt Carmen van Lezen, but Silva is proving to be stronger than Lezen and pushing her back onto her back. A first Wasabi score here. For me it's Lezen that actually is showing a little bit more technical judo, but Silva that has the benefit of her strength and now working on the arm of Leze, and that looks like that's gonna be no Saikami here. And since she already has the Bazari on the board, she only needs to hold on that for a few seconds more.
The winner is Silva Rebecca, the contest from Grandy.
So we have some contests following in the rapid charge of the over 90 kilogram category in the J1 classified athletes. What we're gonna do is we're also gonna take a look soon of the J1 category for the under 90 kilogram athletes because we haven't seen so much of that. They will start in around a minute on mat number 1. I will try to take you there then. But until then we'll see, we'll stick to this mat. So this is the rapid charge contest. These two athletes both lost their first contest, but they get a chance to fight back for the bronze medal. It's Theoklitos Papachristos of Greece. He's wearing the white judogi here, and he's facing Evgeny Nurmatov of Kyrgyzstan in blue. So we're gonna take a look on mat number 1 for the contests over there. Of course, if you want to keep watching the fight of the over 90 kilogram category mat number 2, you can switch to that mat. But we're gonna look at Gökhan Biser of Turkey, and he is facing Turgun Abdiyev of Uzbekistan. And we're gonna see Biser in white judogi and Abdiyev in blue. So both athletes are really careful in this contest. You can see they are not so explosive yet, but you can see a hint here from Abdiyev. They are just searching for a way to enter, and they come up with a really big explosive move. And the first move is for Abdiyev, and this is why he was so careful, because he was almost taken over by Biser here. I think Biser is waiting a little bit of the on the attack of Abdiyev. And the referee is making sure they are standing correctly. Ooh, nice opponents with that. And it's interesting to see that many times they do that, but they're not succeeding so much in that. So it has the benefit of the surprise, but you don't have a reaction yet, your opponent is not moving yet. So now it's Abdiyev that has a strong right-sided grip again. And Abdiyev is really searching for an entrance, but also he doesn't want to have. What is the danger exactly? Biser trying to take over the movement of Abdiyev. So it's logical that Abdiyev is really careful to come in with the big technique. So although Abdiyev has a really good strong-handed grip, he gets a first Judo for being too passive. And they will continue. So Abdiyev is really moving around Biser, but you can see that Biser is a really strong stand, so it's hard to really get him off balance. And I think Abdiyev will need to be a little bit more creative to find a way to answer. But for me also Biser is really waiting only, he's trusting only on that takeover. And for me, if that stays the case, it would mean a Judo for him as well. So not much, too much happening in the last minute. And I wouldn't be surprised if the referee would both give them a Judo to try to motivate them to come to more attacks. And she's exactly going to do that. So both athletes are not able to come up with the proper big attack. That's why they're both getting passivity Shidos. So Abdiev is really searching for an entrance here, trying to push that right side. You can tell he's trying to find an entrance with his hips. But the left hand of Bisser, if you can see where that is placed, he's controlling a lot the body, and Abdiev will feel a lot of pressure coming from that left hand from Bisser. Now he's switching the sides. That's interesting to see. And it's the first action in quite a while now. It's Seonage coming from Abdiev. So with only 4 seconds left on the clock, unless something really surprising happens, it will be a golden score here. So I'm sorry for the interruptions we had. We had some trouble with the live streaming, but hopefully we're back now, and we're gonna see this contest between Arthur Silva of Brazil. He's wearing the white judo gi, and he's facing Yasin Simsiler of Turkey in blue. And Simsiler just taking great moves coming from Silva here. He's really showing his class today. Great action taking back Simsiler. And we're gonna move to mat number 2 for some more contests in the under 90 kilogram category for J2 athletes. So on the mat now we have Simone. Oh no, they just finished. I'm sorry. We're gonna watch the next contest, and soon they will enter the mat. So I'm really impressed with the level in the J2 under 90 kilogram category. You see a lot of really high class athletes. Of the men under 90 kilogram category for J2 athletes, and we're gonna see Jacques Joubert of Republic of South Africa, and he will be facing Nathan Petit of France. It will be Joubert in white judo gi and Petit in blue. Difference in experience. I think Petit is a really experienced and tactical athlete. He managed an unfortunate loss, but here you can see the difference. Beautiful left haragoshi from Petit, and he had no trouble at all in beating Joubert. So this will be a really interesting contest, because whoever wins this contest will also win the competition here today. Facing Katira Ismieva of Azerbaijan. So interesting contest. Akin Gures straight away with a weapon here also. But a strong start from Akin Gunes. Left-sided grip. And I won't be surprised to see Shido for that. And that's what the referee is giving to her now. So you can never feeling that pressure from the left side and the left hand of Akin Gunes. Just move your opponent around. But Akin Gunes looks like so this time they are awarding the Shido just for Ismieva. Akin Gunes is also not completely out of the woods. Although she's moving around a lot, she's not coming up with really big techniques. And for me that is needed to not be passive. Get some space for a good attack here. She's so Ismieva here. So even though these two athletes would pick up a Shido, it would be the win for Akin Gunes. So it's the third for this contest. And I really hope to see you back in the final block here today. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Turkish time. I hope you enjoyed the action this morning, and thank you so much.
Yeah, and these are all the categories that are already finished.
Then I already have this. Perfect, thank you so much.
You already have first two.
Final day of the Ibsa Antalya Grand-Prix. We're going to start right away with the medal matches for the J1 under 70 kilogram category, and the first contest is between Theodora Pascalidou of Greece and Matilda Lauria of Italy. It's Pascalidou in white judogi and Lauria in blue. And as I commented earlier today, there's a lot of new faces here, a lot of new names coming to the scene, which is really nice to see. You can definitely tell this is a new cycle, there's new classification rules. And for now, still no big actions coming into this contest. It's Pascalidou that's putting a bit more pressure on Lauria, working with her legs. What they really should try to do is get closer, so they keep each other at a distance, and which is making it really difficult to throw each other. And it's the first Tumunage attempt coming from Lauria. So the first bigger attempt in this contest is for the Italian. And straight away it's Pascalidou that's really working on the legs of Lauria. She's too far away from her opponent. There's too much space in between them, so she cannot really be dangerous for her opponent. So still some moving around. This time a bigger movement coming from Pascalidou, but it gives some space for Lauria to come in with the technique. But no success for either of them. I do feel like they're getting a bit closer. It's half the contest time gone. So they now felt each other, they know how they move. So it's time to put in some big attacks. So at the moment Matilda Lauria is being given a penalty for passivity. I think that's the correct action here, while Pascalidou is making more efforts here. Another Ashiwaza attempt coming from her. Now it's a Sutami attempt coming from Lauria. And the referee has to give some extra instructions to Lauria. She is also has a hearing impairment, so that's why he will signal her the scores on her hand and on her back. So Pascalidou here is trying to push a bit more forward, getting closer to a good attack. So both are actually blocking each other out a bit with those hands. So it is rather difficult for them to get close and to be dangerous for the opponent. And the referee might stop the contest. See what he's gonna do, if he's gonna give some Shidos. So he's giving both athletes here a Shido. And as I was telling you, the problem of they're both really blocking each other, so they have the hands in between. So either one of them should try to get over the top of their opponent to really get closer. Otherwise, there's no big attack is possible. So that's it. The contest time is gone now, so it will be a golden score. And either one of them picking up the third Shido or one of them scoring will be the end of this contest. And let's see if we can see some nice action during the golden score. This time it is Pascalidou that's getting closer. But when that's happened, now Lauria has her left hand over the top of Pascalidou. It's nice to see, because this time when they do that, they come closer to scoring. And good grip from Lauria now. Left hand over the top of Pascalidou. And that was a good effort from Pascalidou, left-sided or also Tegari. But they really are not taking risks that are very big. So already 1 minute and 14 seconds into this golden score. And let's see who can finish it off. So a bronze medal will give you your first important points. And it can give you a small benefit on a couple of next tournaments. The higher you're ranked, the higher your place in the roster. So another attempt coming from Pascalidou. She's working all the time on that Ashiwata, the leg throws, but she's not really taking too big a risk, so she's not pushing 100%. And that's probably also why she's not throwing. And Lauria looks quite dangerous with that left hand on top. So already 2 minutes 38 seconds into this golden score. And as soon as they're getting closer, as you see here, it's getting so much more interesting. So what both athletes should do is try to get the one hand on the top or get closer to the opponent. So again, both athletes are really trying to move each other around. It's Pascalidou. She's the one that's gonna get closer. So it's nice to see them really getting closer to each other. Lauria almost scoring here, but also almost being taken over by Pascalidou. So I think the solution and the key to this contest will be who is the one that can get closer to the opponent. And it's Pascalidou this time who will get her second Shido. So it's all even in Shidos. Both athletes have 2 Shidos now on the board. So there's no room for any errors anymore. And let's see if either one of them can get a little bit closer again. And again, it's Lauria who's having the better grip. I think this is really the solution for her in this contest. She's the one that's slowly getting the upper hand here. Now nice hip throw and taken over by Pascalidou in the end. And unfortunately for Lauria, that will be the end of this contest. It's Theodora Pascalidou who came up with a great takeover after 3 minutes and 57 seconds into the golden score. So almost 2 times the normal combat time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner is the contestant from Greece, Theodora Pascalidou.
So we have 2 more contests coming up in this weight category. So coming onto the mat now is Mukaramkon Abdusamatova of Uzbekistan, and she will be facing Nadia Agostina Boggiano of Argentina. And it will be Abdusamatova in white judo gi and Boggiano in blue. And right away there's a lot of action, a lot of cheering for Abdusamatova. So really nice change of direction for Boggiano. What a beautiful piece of Ashiwaza she showed there. And straight away into the hold down. And I think that's going to be it. So what a great win for Nadia Agostina Boggiano.
The winner by default is the contestant from Argentina, Nadia Agostina Boggiano.
So beautiful piece of Ashiwaza coming from Boggiano. And obviously she's pleased with her result, picking up the first points for the new world ranking list. And that leaves us the final for the women under 70 kilogram category for the J1 athletes. As they're walking onto the mat area now. And in this final we find Esmer Taskin of Turkey and Brenda Souza de Freitas of Brazil. And we will see Taskin of Turkey in white judo gi and Souza de Freitas in blue. And this is one of the examples where it's nice to see the split of J1 and J2 athletes. Because of course we have the Paralympic champion Alana in here. Maldonado, and that would leave no chance for Souza de Freitas, almost scoring here, but now she has her own category where she can really succeed. Almost into a hold down or into a short hold down, but escaped well by Esmer Taskin. So the atmosphere in the competition venue is really great. All the teams are really cheering for their athletes. And the Souza de Freitas is really moving around well. Another Makikomi attempt on the left side, but it was stopped by Esmer Taskin. Both really show great fighting spirit for me. They're absolutely going for it. So again, all right, Seonage coming for Souza de Freitas and scoring her first Rosari. So really two-sided athletes. And now trying to escape the legs. And I don't think there's so much progress, so the referee will call a mete here. So it was very lead for Sousa de Freitas. And I'm really happy to see such a new talent rising here. So both athletes trying to move each other around. Also Taskin going for it, trying to get some pressure on Sousa de Freitas. But that's gonna be all over for Taskin here. Beautiful ippon by Sousa de Freitas.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner in the J1 17 Grand-Prix is the contestant from Brazil.
So great performance by these two athletes. But I think Brenda Sousa de Freitas is really one to watch for the coming competitions. So with that first category gone, we have still two final categories to bring to you in this block. It's the over 90 kilogram in the J1 category and the under 90 kilogram in the J2 category, and in between we will have the awarding ceremonies. And the first ones coming up is the under 70 kilogram category in the J2 classification.
Bazen هذا السلام. No, ask us, baby. No, I'm the next commentator. Can I tell something? Huh? Only two.
So here we have the medal ceremony of the women under 70 kilogram for J2 athletes. And second place here is for Aysel Imon Verdieva of Azerbaijan. And the gold is for current Paralympic champion Alana Maldonado of Brazil.
The first is Maldonado, contest from Brazil. gold medal. The flowers will be given by Mashbats, the IGF referent director. Please stand up for the national anthem of Grandy. Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to all the winners. Please be ready for the weighing ceremony of Jiu-Jitsu over 70 kilograms. The medals will be given by Ibsa the Ibsa Sports Director. The second is President Presidia Contest for France.
So this is the medal ceremony of the women over 70 kilograms in the J2 category. And here the second place is from Cecilia Lezel, France. And gold medal goes to Rebecca Silva of Brazil.
Olha aqui, mostra a medalha.
given by the Ibsa Judo. Please stand up for the national anthem of Brazil. Congratulations, the winners.
So after this family picture, we will continue with the contest of the men over 90 kilograms in J1. And we have some really good contests coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, J1 over 90 kilogram bronze. Contestant from Greece, Theodore.
So for this first bronze medal contest, coming on to the mat now is Theoklitos Papachristos of Greece, and he will be facing Daniel Knecht of the Netherlands. And we're going to see Papachristos in the white judo gi and Knecht in blue. And we've been following quite a few contests of this category today, and we've seen some real top level fighting. And this is especially one of the categories where the J1 and J2 split gives a lot more equality in this competition. And let's see what these two athletes have to offer to the table. It's going to be a tactical contest, I assume, with Papachristos very smart in the takeover. So he's always a little bit waiting on his opponent, and Knecht is a really positive athlete that wants to push forward. So not an easy contest for either of these athletes. So first action in this contest, and it's Knecht that's trying to work in Nevaza after it, but no success yet. So both have to suffer a loss earlier in this competition. It was Papachristos that lost out to Tastan, and Knecht lost out to Grandy, who we will see later on today in the final. So first Judo on the board for Papachristos. That's not unfamiliar to him. He has a little bit a defensive stance, as you can see here. So his arms are almost all stretched, and that's making it so hard for an opponent to come close to him. So you can see here that Knecht is really pushing forward. He's trying to find some space for a technique. But Papachristos is not making it easy. And a big attempt coming from Papachristos. Good attempt, left-sided. Just not enough for a score there, but it was a really good effort. And this is why Papachristos is such a difficult opponent for many of these athletes. So he's very clever with his tactics. So both athletes get to their grips again. And now it's Papachristos that's really starting to move around, which makes the contest more interesting to see what will happen. So first a big attack came in from Papachristos. And let's see if we can see some more action. There's still plenty of time. Half the contest time is gone now. So still a little bit more than 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. And this is also a little bit similar to the contest we saw earlier in the under 70 kilogram category, where both athletes are really blocking each other out on the arms. They're making it difficult for themselves to really get closer and to be dangerous. And one of them will have to start doing something, otherwise they will just both pick up a Judo. So it's still 1 minute left. Both athletes back on their spot, and I'm curious if the referee is gonna give them a little warning, because they really would have to attack. So both athletes pick up another Judo, and this is giving a small advantage to Knecht, who only has the one Judo on the board. And it's again Knecht a little bit moving more. But you can tell that Papachristos has some good moves. He's moving over the mat, preparing also for some Sutimiwaza or some takeover. So it's a very tactical game here. So a Sutimi attempt coming from Papachristos, but also giving some trouble to him, because it gives Knecht some nice time to work on Iwasa and trying to get to free up his leg. And if that will happen, it will be a osaikomi. But Papachristos is saved by the bell here, literally. So it is the end of the contest time. Some nice action in the last few seconds of this contest, and we're going to see more of it in the golden score. So really tough and tactical contest. So again, moving around. Papachristos now starting to move a little bit more, trying to search for an entrance. And also Knecht is really working. And the left Seonage, and that's gonna be it. It's an Nippon score for Daniel Knecht. And he must be very pleased with that first medal in the World Tour. Really great result for this athlete. And very unfortunate for Papachristos. He had a really strong tournament. Also beating his last opponent. But it is Knecht with a nice left Seonage that's coming away with the win here. So really tactical contest. You could see that right from the start. And it's exactly the cleverness of Papachristos, because he is all the time waiting. He's very good in responding to the attacks of his opponent. But Knecht didn't fall for that. He waited patiently. And it took him a golden score to come up with the win. So for this second bronze medal match, we're gonna see Azizbek Nurmuninov. And he will be facing Onur Tastan, the home favorite, and that's clearly hearable in the crowd. So the Turkish delegation is cheering for him. You will see Nurmuninov in white judogi and Tastan in blue. So also both athletes suffered a loss today. Tastan in the semi-final against Araujo, and Nurmuninov against Knecht, who we just saw winning the bronze medal. So the Turkish delegation really brought a strong team here, and they have the biggest delegation, which is quite normal for the home crowd, but they also brought some really new talents to the table, and that's nice to see. And let's see if they can pick up a bronze medal here today in this category, or if it goes to Uzbekistan. So as Mehmet Yilmaz leaves the mat, of course, because he is a Turkish referee, so there was a little mix-up there. But now straight away they start. So strong moving by both athletes. Strong left-handed grip from Tastan. And putting a lot of pressure, but nice right-sided Seonage. By Nurmuninov. So again, a strong grip by Tastan. Again, right-sided Sonage, but that looks like Shimawasa is all under. And that's gonna be an Ippon score here for Tastan and another medal for the Turkish team. Such a quick reaction. And that is quite unfortunate for Azizbek Nurmuminov because he was looking quite strong in this contest, but such a quick reaction. And Onur Tastan reacting so good on that last technique. So Onur Tastan picking up the second bronze medal here in this competition. So we have the final left to bring to you. As we see them giving some appreciation to each other for the fight. So it's going to be an interesting final between Williams Araújo of Brazil. I think he could be the one to beat today. He's looking very strong today. But in order to win, he will have to beat Jason Grandy of France. So for sure it's going to be an interesting final. So it's Araújo that definitely has the weight advantage. He's quite a lot bigger than Grandy. So both are getting ready to get their grip. And starting off, of course, it's Grandy who's trying to move around Araújo. That's his only chance. He cannot really fall for the big pressure of Araújo. Because as we've seen in the last few contests, Araújo is physically very strong. Here's the first good attempt from Araújo, just losing the grip on his way down. So no scores. And it's Grandy who's trying to work in Newaza. Nice Shimewaza attempt coming from Grandy. I don't think there's enough pressure on there, but he keeps trying. And now almost in a hold down himself, so he's giving a big chance to Araújo now to work in Newaza as well. So I think Grandy took a little risk there by attempting to hold on to that Shimewaza. And now it's Araújo who's getting an arm lock with Grandy, and that's looking quite tight, and it's gonna be the end of this contest. So very unfortunate end for Grandy, who was looking good. And it's another gold medal for Brazil. They are really killing it today. So really well performance by Williams Araujo. And before we continue the medal fights, we're gonna have two medal ceremonies of under 70 and over 70 for the J1 categories.
Please engage for the weighing ceremony of J1 70 kilograms.
Now we're gonna have the medal ceremony for women under 70 kilogram for the J1 category.
Agatto in Aida.
Φόρεσε τη μάσκα σου. Φόρεσε τη μάσκα σου. Ναι. Ναι, έχασε. Φόρεσε τη μάσκα σου τώρα γιατί θα πείτε πάνω. Ναι, θα βγάλω φωτογραφία γι' αυτό.
The members of the given by Sandro Tito, the Ibsa president.
So the bronze medals here goes to Theodora Pascalidou of Greece and Esmer Taskin of Turkey.
Third place again, Pascal Judo Theodora, contest from Greece.
Ανεβαίνεις.
Second place,
Second place.
contest from
I'm sorry. Third place goes to Maria Agustina Bodiano for Argentina. The second place goes to Esmer Taskin of Turkey. And the gold medal is for Brenda Susana Freitas of Brazil.
the flowers will be given by Imre Sos, IGN Sports Committee.
Vira a medalha, Brenda. Vira, vira. Aí, aí. Ó, a flor. O diploma.
Ναι, ναι.
Dá um sorriso, Brenda.
Gaga.
Dá um sorriso, pô.
Μετά.
Brenda!
All together, all together.
Junta tudo.
Ανέβασε, πήγαινε δίπλα για να βγάλετε όλοι μαζί. Και άλλο λίγο δίπλα για να χωρέσει και η κοπέλα την ωραία. Κάνε λίγο πιο δίπλα.
Listo, vamos, 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 vamos. Ahí está, hermosa, hermosa foto.
Zuma.
Muy bien, chica, muy bien.
Πήγαινε, στα δεξιά πήγαινε.
Niña memoria. Hoy vamos a escuchar el rápido. Felicitaciones.
Ναι. Για να βγείτε, γιατί... Οπ.
Entra aí. Preocupada aqui se você tiver uma jovem na Argentina, você tem para você vai trazer? Sim? Não é? Porque só tem. Eu começo a trazer para você seja jovem, eu trago para.
The members will be given by government directly vice president of British vice president of British Student Sport Federation. The ceremony
So for the medal ceremony of the women over 70 kilograms, the J1 category, mediator of Azerbaijan takes second place. And the gold medal goes to Nazan Akin Kunes of Turkey.
the flowers will be given by Ibsa
Veio
IDF
visitar a Lana. Não, dessa eu não posso chamar o Walter para ajudar. Não. Eu falo porque o Walter tem. Tem? Não vou chamar o Walter para ajudar dessa vez não, porque o Walter tem.
for national Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to you.
So we're getting ready for the last few matches of today in the J2 under 90 kilogram category. And also here we've seen quite a few contests in this category, and I think this is the categories with the highest level judo, one of the highest levels we could tell. And the first match is between Saleh Sultanov of Azerbaijan and Otabek Irisbekov of Uzbekistan, and it's Sultanov in white judogi and Irisbekov in blue. Straight away Sultanov comes in with a nice right-sided low seonage, but he lost the grip completely on the way down, so no score on the board, and it gives some time for Irisbekov to work in the waza. The effort being not too serious because they're already back on the mat again in the middle. So both athletes coming with nice attacks. Last one coming from Sultanov, but again not close to scoring yet, these two athletes. So both trying to find an entry. Again, right-sided low seonage coming from Sultanov. Really nice entrance and scoring a Rosari here. That was beautiful. So again, it's Sultanov coming in with a nice piece of Ashiwaza, trying to bring Irisbekov backwards. He does look really strong during this contest, and Irisbekov is struggling to keep up with the pace. This is why also he's receiving his first Shido now. He's getting his Shido for passivity because of the high pace of Sultanov. This time another technique coming from Sultanov. This time he was lacking a lot of grip, so not the best attempt from from Sultanov. And some there was a work from Irisbekov, trying to turn his opponent. And I feel like Irisbekov can do something in this contest. He's quite strong. Well, once he does have his grip, it just takes a little bit longer to get to that. So again, it's Sultanov coming in with an attack. So I think Sultanov is also trying to really make it uncomfortable and just doesn't let Irisbekov play his game at all. And I think it's quite smart tactics for him So Sultanov really needs to stay out of the pressure of Irisbekov, otherwise it might be very dangerous for him. So again, that right hand from Irisbekov. And a nice movement from Sultanov, is showing some really good skills here. Trying to switch directions, but no score. And it's Sultanov here that receives a Shido for a walking off the mat area. So they're less strict with that. The referee is taking the Shido off. So they do have to take into account that they have the mat area, and the referee will give a signal when they walk off the mat. Another right Seoinage, almost throwing over Irisbekov here. So the judoka are able to know where they are. So another adjusted Katakuma attempt coming from Sultanov, just not enough power behind it. And it looks like Sultanov is gonna struggle a bit in the last 1 minute and 36 seconds. And he for sure put most effort in. Most attacks came from his sides. That's why Irisbekov picks up another Shido. So he really needs to start moving quickly. Another Sutami attempt coming from Sultanov. He's so quick with his attacks that it's struggling Irisbekov a lot to really get to a proper technique. And I feel once Irisbekov can get his grips the way he wants to, he can be very dangerous. So here a better grip from from Irisbekov, but a quick response by Sultanov. It's a really tough contest for these two athletes. Irisbekov is really chasing Sultanov. Again, strong grip by Irisbekov, but they're on the edge of the mat. So the referee stops the contest. Still a little bit over 1 minute left, so that's not going to be an easy run for Sultanov. So this time Sultanov is getting a Shido for wandering off the mat area. And it's also because he is escaping a bit the fight. So he's really defending. Another move from Sultanov, but he doesn't have any grips. So I feel like these attacks are mostly just to take some time off the clock. And he must watch out to not get a Shido for a false attack. So it's another adjusted Katakuruma attempt coming from Sultanov. And you can see that he is struggling. But still, it's quite a lot of time on the clock. But if you make a attack every few seconds, then it's gonna take a long time. So another attempt coming from Sultanov. I feel like he's also escaping the pressure a bit of Idris Bekov, so he needs to start watching out and be a little bit more tactical in his way of fighting. So although it's Sultanov leading all the contest, it is really not over yet. And another drop, Seonage coming from Sultanov. It's starting to look like the same tactic, the same game all the time. It's after the Ajime, it's Sultanov who comes in with a low technique. So it must be quite frustrating for Idris Bekov. Another low attempt from Sultanov, but every time Idris Bekov he is off balance, so it's just enough to not get the Shido for a false attack, but it's not the best judo to watch. And probably Idris Bekov will get more frustrated with each attack. So another Yoko Tumanage coming from Sultanov. And quick reaction from Idris Bekov. And here you can see it. Sultanov was completely drained, and it was Idris Bekov who had to be very patient. But he managed to get a win in the end. Tough contest, and I think Sultanov showed good skills during the contest. It was just 1 minute too long for him. So Sultanov very disappointed with his performance. He was leading the whole contest up until 16 seconds until the end. But you really have to do it until the last second. So it's going to be a 5th place for him today. So for the second bronze medal watch, we're gonna watch the contest between Nathan Petit of France, and he's facing Evan Molloy of Great Britain. And it's Petit in white judo gi and Molloy in blue. And I've seen very strong judo by these two athletes. Really strong athletes. And they probably know each other from the circuit, so very tough start from the beginning. Straight away Molloy is in with an explosive low technique, but a good reaction from Petit, and now working in Newaza. And he does have a good position here, just needs to free up the leg of Molloy. And let's see if he can control that upper half. It's not easy to free up that leg. Let's see how far he can get. But not succeeding here. Good work from both athletes. So it's Petit. He has the strong left-sided grip, as you can see here. He is all the time searching for those left hip throws, while Molloy is better in his low seonages and sodas. So it's an interesting mix in this contest. So now Petit really has a strong left-sided grip. But he is struggling though with the strength of Molloy as well. And another really good low throw. He's so smart and quick with those techniques. And this time it is Molloy working in the was and trying to free up the leg of Petit. And it does look strong here as well, the hold down of holding down the legs from Petit. So no clear progress here. And the referee is going to give this Judo for Petit, the first Judo on the board. Because it, I feel like he felt that Molloy was the one that's more active, but I think they're correct in taking that off. It's been a really attractive contest to see. Both have been quite active and searching for techniques. Oh, he was reaching in very far, but what a really nice way to push through with that. So it's Vasari lead for Molloy now, and he looks like he has a struggle on. That was a quick tap out from Petit, so I'm not sure what happened there, if it was on so strictly. And Petit looks a bit disappointed, but I think Molloy has showed really high class judo today. So a well-deserved bronze medal for Evan Molloy of Great Britain. So that leaves us the final contest of today. Of course, after that we have a few more medal ceremonies. So it's going to be an all Kazakh final. And they were absolutely showing that they were the best athletes today. And for sure these two athletes know each other, so I'm not sure what kind of contest that's going to bring. Sometimes the athletes really cancel each other out if they know each other so well, and sometimes it's just all fireworks. So let's see what these two athletes have to bring to the table. It's Sambota Amazol in white judogi and Galimzan Smagululi in blue, and both representing Kazakhstan. So for sure these two know each other, as you can, I think you can really tell. And really nice right-sided technique from Amazol. First one in. So they know from each other the way they fight. They know each other's moves. So both athletes trying to find some space for and some entrance for an attack. And it's Smakululu that comes in with the low technique. So both athletes getting ready to fight again. And it was Smakululu who's trying to take Amazol to the back, but Amazol reacting quite nicely with some Ashiwaza. Nice right-sided, in the end, Makikomi attempt from Amazol. Looking strong, but Smakululu knows exactly how to defend on that. So it will be really hard for these athletes to surprise each other. Nice again, right-sided Makikomi, and this time it is a Wazari scorer for Amazol. Strong gripping and technique from coming from Amazol. So both athletes are getting their grip again. It's just a half the contest time gone. And it's Smakululu that's been avoiding the grips a little bit. That's why he's picking up a Shido here. So strong right-sided grip from Amazol. Ooh, and that here it's Smakululu who's really grabbing the leg of Amazol. And he will definitely pick up a Shido for that. Yeah, there it is. He's trying to take over and holding on to that leg. So the IJF rules changed a little bit with grabbing the leg. It's not allowed, so you always get a Shido, unless it's in the final moves of an attack, which was definitely not the case here. So Amazol trying to work in Newaza. Trying to get rid of that leg. Problem is the top half is also not so controlled, so I don't see so much happening there. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock. So a little bit over 1 minute and a really big Osotogari coming from Amazon, and that will finish up this contest and the last final match of today. It's a gold medal for Kazakhstan. So really a nice contest between these two top athletes. It was a great pleasure to watch this category, and I hope you really enjoyed watching today. We have some last medal ceremonies to bring to you of the under 90 and over 90 kilogram category for J1 and J2 athletes. For now, I already want to thank you very much for listening and watching today. It was the first tournament where they could pick up important world ranking points with the new classification rules. And of course, we hope to see you back again, for example, in Kazakhstan next month, or in Sao Paulo just a little bit after that. Here is the awarding category of the awarding ceremony of the category under 90 kilogram for J1 athletes.
You have the
And amazing day today with here another gold medal. They will finish up the top of the medal podium.
Contest from Italy. Second place.
Silver is for Volkan Biser of Turkey. Gold medal goes to Martin Silva of Brazil.
Contest from Grandy. Gold medal. The flowers removed by Mr. Ibsa Judo.
Metti la mascherina, vale.
Ho diploma.
Here is the national anthem of Brazil. three more ceremonies left, but let me finish off by giving you the medal table. And it's Brazil who tops the medal table with 6 gold medals. We have home nation Turkey with 5 gold medals. And there's also gold medals for Kazakhstan, Georgia, Romania and Switzerland. So it's been an amazing tournament. If you want to read any news or follow the news, you can go to ITF.org or ibsasport.org. And we really hope to see you back. Thank you for listening. And, it's goodbye for now.
Grande Valerio, grande, grande.
Bravo Vale!
Faccia una fu, Vale.
Valeu, Arthur!
Sei numero 1! Mi pisa tanto! Andiamo a fare la foto, va. Ja, lopen, 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 lopen.
Vai andando, vai andando.
Hou die voorste vast.
Segura, não, tem que andar mais ainda, vai andar mais.
Hou hem vast, hou hem vast. Heel goed.
Aí, William.
Ja, nee, stop, stop, stop.
Vai à direita, vai à direita. Um pouquinho mais para a direita, um pouco para a direita. Aí, aí. Vai. Mas não agora, só quando ele chamar.
Even wachten daar, jee. Nee, mag niet. Je moet een paar stapjes naar rechts maken. Ja, en dan, nog iets verder. Dan ga je op nummer 1 staan. Ja. Ja, dat is not... They are too big. Die Turk moet er ook nog even bij. Dat is oké. Zo. Ja, we gaan er weer afstappen, Daan. Let op.
Wat is er?
The medals will be given by Ibsa Judo. First place, Bolo Iman, contest from Great Britain. Third place again, Ibsa Judo, contest from Uzbekistan. The flowers will be given by the staff from British Judo Federation. Please come on for the national anthem of Kazakhstan.
Bunlar neyi bekliyor?
Aslında.
Nakkurak trans. Dur.
Şimdi birleşelim mi hocam?
Yavaş.
Hadi.
via